Good morning, collective. So the video I posted, part two of my initial video that I put up, apparently they didn't allow it to be public because I had music playing in the background. It's absolutely crazy that that happens. It was a good one too. It was a good one. I even have the card still sitting here. But I'm not going to get directly into what I picked up on last night. It was deep though. It was deep, and it's for someone to really, you know, um, there's so many things going on in the collective. I just worked out, so I'm a little out of breath, but there's so many things going on in the collective. Let me shut this door. I thought I was going to get some fresh air, and these dogs are like, there's so many things going on in the collective. And, we're human. We have problems, we have issues, we go through hardships. And I just wanted to put this video out today to just, for myself as well, be authentic. Just be authentic. Live an authentic life. I think that's the most, wonderful thing that you could do. I'm just going to be very transparent right now. Again, I think I've probably mentioned this before in other videos that I'm like in a kind of like a, I don't want to say midlife crisis, if you will. Excuse me. But definitely in a life transition where things aren't, exactly what I thought they would be, and not in a bad way. We got to remember we're in a new earth, whether we want to believe it or not. The whole paradigm of how we lived before, it's not like that anymore. I mean, ask the zillennials, the Z's, the younger folks of today, are up and coming, teenager to early 20s. The Z's, they know what's going on because they know that they can't go out there and just go and work like their parents and family did and, have, two kids, a dog, a picket fence, and a house. Like, you can have those things. I'm not saying that you can't. It's absolutely impossible, but they make it, the stakes are up. The powers that be have made things very, very complicated, I'll say. And very complicated, but not so much even the powers that be. It's just the way of life, just the era that we're going into is it's going to be different. It's going to be a different way of living. It's going to be a different way of being, and also a different way of thinking, being forced to change our mindsets on how the world was before, with our grandparents and parents, if they're all still living in here, which is wonderful if they are, especially if you're 50, in your 50s and 60s. It's a whole different world. So, not to say that there won't be millionaires again or that there won't be any of that. No, absolutely there will be. It's just going to be done in a different way. Everything's going to be done differently. And this is the time more than ever to start living authentically. I thought about my job situation. It's so funny. I've been cooking on the side and doing chefing. I've been, the tarot card thing at this time, I'm doing it to help the collective, right? Lucrative, no. Hey, if you have to catch me working at AM, PM one night, at a convenience store and I have to do it, guess what? It's not going to take away who I am. It's not going to take away where I feel that I am in my spiritual journey. It's not going to take away my intuitive connections. It's not going to do that. It's not going to do that. It seems so glamorous to be kind of tucked away in a safe place where, to the public eye, you look good. You just look great. You seem like you have it all. And just to find out that, you don't have it all. It can change in a New York minute. Just like that. The all that you thought you had can change in no time. Whether it be money, whether it be jobs, whether it be relationships, whether it be home status, which, that's the most tragic is home. Just talking about my friend Kevin, who, lost his entire everything he owned in an apartment fire. Just like that. And still managed to keep a pretty good attitude. I would have probably lost it. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty tragic. So I'm just challenging myself, and maybe for the collective, challenge yourselves on what can you be thankful about? How can you live more authentic? Because at the end of the day, we're just stripped down and naked in these bodies. And then again, our soul has another yet nakedness. But our soul is ultimately the most important part. Man, it sucks to have to be humiliated in any way, shape, or form. It sucks to have to, humiliate yourself. I'm, believe me, it's like everybody thinks, oh, well, Capri has together. No, I deal with everything. I deal with a lot of stuff just like other people do. Right now, I know a lot of us are dealing with money issues and things like that. We're in a really, tight economy. Have to feed kids, pets, yourselves, keep the lights on. It's not an easy task to just, it's not an easy task to survive. I think a lot of people make it seem that way. More power to you. But I think that there are a lot of people that are not living authentically either. That doesn't mean complain about it all the time. Like, oh, this is going on and that's going on, and complain and play victim. It's just understand that, we're all in this, in this matrix trying to figure some things out. We're all an expression of that one divine source. As we come down into these bodies, working through things, we're all like one. It's collective. So if I'm dealing with it, I have to remember that there's other people dealing with it. And that's not to bring joy in, oh, look, they're going through what I'm going through. But no, it's just to understand that it's collective. It's all collective energy. We're all affected. We're all affected by things. We're all affected by some of the matrix issues that come up, economy and, stock markets and jobs and tightening up. I know that, it's kind of a scary thing. The Davos meeting, 8 years ago, their motto was for 2030, you'll have nothing and you'll be happy. Is that the agenda for 2030? In the midst of it, we still have to kind of hold it together. We have to still kind of think, you know what? It is what it is, right? And it sucks. I had to do a workout this morning and a meditation to really get my mind back in order on, okay, what next? What next, Capri? I listened to this lady on YouTube, and she's like used to work in IT. And of course, like I've mentioned before to several people, I was super recruiter, man. I was super recruiter, man. You give me a job, I don't care what the job is, I will find a person for it and really connect with the people that I help to find. Because I know that livelihoods are so important. I spent my lifetime, half of my lifetime anyway, helping people find livelihoods. And here I am on the other side of the pendulum here. Okay, well, what does Capri do next? Right? And it's funny because this lady that I watch, she's kind of the same thing. She worked in IT and she's Ubering, and realizing, wow, this is a really real wake up call. She was, a high level IT person as well. And then it's like, oh, wow. And then when you get in your 50s, hey, let's do the truth now. When you get in your 50s and, I'd say maybe even late 40s, 50s, it's definitely 60s. Like, you're kind of unhireable. No one wants to hire you. Like, it's like you're kind of like on the outskirts of life. So you're having to reinvent yourself anyway, whether the economy is good or bad. You're having to reinvent yourself. And then you look at people that, like, let's say they're in their 50s and 60s and they've been on their jobs for 25 years. Why is it they never seem happy either? So it's kind of like, we're in this new era anyway, where jobs don't last forever. I mean, it's not like back in the 70s and 80s, it's like people used to be on their jobs for like, even 90s maybe, used to be on their jobs for like, like 30, 40 years, and they retire. And then the interesting part is, then people retire and then they might, back then they might have a good retirement and then they die or they want to go back to work. So we have to kind of think about all the precious the ecosystem. Did I say that right? Ecosystem of life, which is so like, you know, constantly changing. The ecosystem of life, the yin, the yang, the you know the constant shift and polarities, the constant shift and needing to always balance, right? It's always a balancing game, and it gets tough to balance it. Again, like I said, I'm not going to redo that reading just now. I guess I could. Everything's there. Everything's here. But I don't think I want to. I think I'm going to go ahead and do another collective reading next, and then just re-pull cards and see what I get. But, what I did find is in that reading, it was definitely, people who, gosh, trust is crucial to maintain relationships, not just marriage relationships and intimate relationships, but this is what it kind of was falling under, like intimate relationships, but also just you never know people, and never underestimate when people are manipulative. I'm just going to talk about. I pulled up a Queen of Cups in reverse and a Knight of Swords in reverse yesterday, and and it's interesting that those came up in reverse. And I had a King of Cups in the upright, who's a loving, kind, giving person. Looks like they just got betrayed. And whatever, the court cards come out reversed, like a King of Cups reversed or a Queen of Cups reversed or any of that, it's like it kind of pulls out the shadow. It's the shadow side of that individual. And in some cases, like I said yesterday, in the video that y'all can't watch, I got part 1 was able to be posted, but part 2 wasn't able to be posted. Hey, doggy. Part 2 wasn't able to be posted. But oh, look at who's here. Look at who's here. He wants his walk. I'm keeping red. Yeah, right now. So when we got divorced, we had 3 dogs. We're down to like 1, and this is the one that's it. Edward keeps this one most of the time, and I opted to keep him and the cat this week. And he's been pretty good company. When you're in isolation, he's a good boy. Yeah. He's a good boy. He's loyal. Every time he's loyal. Even though I kick him off of my side of the bed. Yeah, you have to get on your own side. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to that, we have to be real with ourselves, because I think a lot of times we get these these archetypes in our life, reversed characters, manipulative people that are, in the habit of lying. And the sad part is, like I said, with the King of Swords, a King of Cups reverse, I think you can kind of, like, they're emotionally manipulative, a King of Cups reverse, but, but he cannot kind of always be turned around, like, because he's at least in touch with his emotions, even if it is at the time, like, a little bit, manipulative. But like a King of Swords reverse, or a Knight of Swords reverse, swords are kind of they're thoughts. But also when you get swords are conflict. There's always some sort of conflict with a sword. And when you get conflict or a direct measure on a positive side, a direct clarity, right? But on the negative side, usually it's lying, people that are accustomed to lying, cheating. And I don't always just mean infidelities like cheating, but that is a big one. Or like they are just not true to themselves. They don't live authentically. They're liars. They will show people one side of themselves, and then that's it. I mean, and then they live knowing that that's not even who they are. So I just challenge people again. I'm not going to go through in the Queen of Cups reverse. Again, I think a Queen of Cups reverse can be fixed as well. If they want to apply, I think that anybody can turn things around, but a Queen of Cups reverse is definitely someone that's, emotionally manipulative, who wants to use, look out for themselves and no one else, who will do anything underhanded, right? Anything underhanded to get their way, right? Even if it goes as far as lying, cheating, whatever it takes. It just doesn't matter. And I'm just kind of talking a little bit about the reading that didn't get posted. It was a really juicy one too. It was about an hour. And next time I just won't play music in the background, and then they've gotta post it because no copyright. But I mean, and it's funny because this King of Swords reverse and this I know we're gonna go out, and Queen of Cups reversed came up behind each other along with the King of Cups in the upright separately. So there's two people that are secretly against one, I think. I don't know. All I know is, find out where it fits in your life. I think I did get through in the first reading. Emotions are running high. Surrender to the divine and my moon cards. Meditate and contemplate, and don't let pride get in your way. I'm working on all those myself. Okay. I'm not out of the, I'm not here giving advisement or anything like that to people without me having to jump in the pool and do what I'm supposed to do myself. So, in this trying times that we live in, until my ships come in other areas, whether it be investments or really developing the ultimate business plan to be for stability, you might catch me delivering a pizza, run an Uber. And I challenge you, if you have to do those things, don't be embarrassed. It's what it is. It is what it is. In essence, it sucks. Nobody kind of wants to do that. But sometimes you just have to kind of let life run its course and stay true to who you are and stay true to the divine. And at the core, keep on moving. So, anywho, I'm going to do another full reading in later on. But I thought I would put this little quick message out, because it was on my heart. Believe me, I get anxiety. Sometimes this is healing for me to get to talk openly. I know a lot of people don't like what I'm doing. They don't like it. There's people that probably like, oh my God, just shut up. No, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to grow up. I'm here to help. And, people have choices. They don't have to listen to these videos now. You don't have to listen to anything I have to say. You don't have to, it's kind of like, this is another great thing about the era that we live in. You can click it off. I mean, I think even back when you had cable, you can click things off. You had all these channels, but now you can click this off. You don't have to click on it. You don't have to watch it. That's one thing. So just keep that in mind as well. And I'm just talking to whoever, I mean, I don't know who watches me. I have no clue. You don't have to. I mean, I'm just another person with, with some intuition, something that we all should be using. Everybody is intuitive. Everybody is intuitive. I don't care what you say. When people tap in and they openly tap in and share a story or what they're feeling from the energy, guess what? Everybody is intuitive. They just want to either resist it, deny it, push it away, because the truth is too harsh, and then it requires you to have to really do like work on the facades, on the, you know what, everything ain't all that it's cut out to be. And it sucks. No one wants to air. You don't have to air your business everywhere. You don't. You don't have to air your business. But it's interesting how when people do, you know, we look at it and like, in a way, as much as we want to like talk about those people and say, oh my God, so-and-so aired their business, they're going through this or going through that. In a roundabout way, people admire that too, because they're like, I wish I would have the guts to do this or that. Believe me, I'm one of those too. There's this couple that I have been watching and I'm like, no way. I mean, they, you know, they post everything. Guess what? It's pretty cool that they do. Because at the end of the day, you know, maybe that's their way of journeying through their life and relationships and changes and their good times and ups and downs. And maybe it's just being fake. I don't know. You know, it's like, you gotta be careful with social media. It can always err on the side of like fake, you know, because there are a lot of like Instagram models and fake people that put things up there and make everything look like everything's perfect, right? You know, so that can happen too. So yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're being authentic, you know, when you do that either. But I think that, you know, there's great opportunities to help others by sharing your story, right? Sharing your story so that other people, you know, and I'm 50 and over. So I'm talking to the people that are more mature in life as well, that, you know, it's okay to just not give a damn about what other people think sometimes. All the time. Why? Why you care? We've lived on this earth for 50 years, which isn't an extremely long time, by the way. But we've been here. We've been through some ups and downs. We've seen several moons, full moons. I don't know. I guess I need to do the numbers on how many we've seen. We've seen many moons. We've seen many sunrises. We've gone through many events. We've seen death. We've seen, you know, and people a lot younger have seen those things too. But I'm just saying, like 50 is kind of like a commemorative time of like, you know, yes, I'm still alive. You know, I've been through health issues. So those of you have been, some have had babies, some have had hysterectomies, some have had, babies late in life, like at 50 and 54 and things like that. Divorces, remarriages, just all sorts of fears that we've faced and came through on the other side. And that's the hard part, because you're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to come out on the other side okay. What am I going to lose? I'm going to lose what? Everything I've worked for. And that is the hardest thing. Believe me. Me over here. Yeah. You want everything to stay status quo when it doesn't always. And that's, it's hard, man. It's like a hard pill to take, you know? So anyway, if you are struggling through job situations, let's say even if you're in the 50s, I'm talking to everybody, but it's just 50 and over. Job situations, family situations, health situations, marriages, divorces, those sorts of things. Problems with your kids. You know, I know that a lot of people have dealt with, kids on drugs and things of that sort. Just a lot of stuff where, life brings you these challenges that aren't even yours, but they belong to someone close to you. Hang in there. Hang in there. And I'm going to pull a Moonology real quick. I just couldn't resist, though. As I'm 24 minutes in, I don't want to make this more than 30 minutes. So let's pull a Moonology for this morning, because I need the inspiration too. Let's see what we got. You're very close to achieving your goal. I love that. That's a great card for this one. You're very close to achieving your goal. And that is Gibeus Moon. And it says, and even those people that haven't quite learned how to be authentic with themselves yet, you're getting there. Just work on just a little bit of authenticity. I mean, you have to tell everybody everything. That's not necessarily being authentic. Authentic is just being truthful to who you are, so that people are like, hey, I still think you're a wonderful person, you know, one way or the other. Because that's usually what it is. People know that you're a wonderful person, regardless as if you're like falling down and not able to get up, or having to do a crazy job that you never thought that you would have to do, or oh my God, let me cover my face, I'm working at the gas station. That'll be me. I mean, who cares? I've done it all. I've been rich, I've been poor. I've done really well in life at some points, and I've done really crappy. I've had a BMW repossessed. I'm just saying it. Okay, I said it. Maybe it's too much information, but guess what? I recovered that tenfold over the years by just keep moving and keep going. I remember right in the beginning of my journey, I had to go work at Salata for the summer and do their catering, and that's where I got some ideas on the catering thing. And then I worked at this restaurant as a it was like, I don't know, I was like a cashier hostess, and it was so funny because they leave all the tips up front. And I just, I went into work every day. It was a really nice fine dining type place, but it was like kind of cafe style. And it was in River Oaks. River Oaks is like the richest neighborhood in Houston. Like River Oaks is really rich. I had to share this. And this is back in 2019, 2020. And it was during COVID. And then during that time, I was like doing all these little odd stuff. Like, okay, my regular corporate stuff, I got to reinvent myself. I'm going to go work at Salata. That didn't work out. And then I ended up getting a job with at Relish, and it's a fine dining, like kind of cafe style place in the River Oaks. And here I am, little miss. Oh, I've been in HR, and it's funny. He was a nice guy. He was really nice. Him and his wife, they own this restaurant, and I was replacing this little girl. And I remember when I first got there, everyone was like, "Oh, well, she didn't do it that way, and she didn't." And I was thinking, you know what? I'm a grown adult. I'm going to do things my way, but I will definitely cooperate with you on how to move forward in my own authentic personality way, right? And it worked out because I go in, because I used to wear like a white shirt button down, and I could wear any old white shirt, like any kind of white shirt that I wanted. Like, so I would have like these really cool white shirts with a nice tie and like these really fancy white shirts and black pants, and it was so cute because all the rich people that would come in there that lived in that neighborhood, they loved it. They loved all my little jewelry, and I would chit chat with them, and they're thinking, oh my goodness, we love this girl. Like, she's like just chatting with us and shooting the breeze. So the tips got really good because I was like the front of the line, when everybody's like in waiting line, they pay, and then they usually tip up front. And there was a tip pull. And I remember Dustin, I remember I got irritated one time, and I was like, you know what? I don't have to do this. I've been doing catering on my own. I'll just, go back and do some other things. I'll go back and drive Uber for a little bit. I'll drop off some groceries with Walmart, whatever it takes, right? I know how to make some money, like even if it has to be a little hustle here and there. And he didn't want me to quit. He was like, no, I want you to stay. He goes, the tips have been really good here and whatever. And so like I worked like these 2 or 3 days a week. And I kid you not, every 2 weeks, I made some really good money. Excuse me, I'm going to get this dog. Hold on, let me tie him outside real quick. Come on, Red. Let's go. Come here. Front door open. I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to let the dog out. I was tie him out in the front for a minute till I'm ready to go walking. But anywho, I made the best of it. Like, I mean, it was so much fun. I made the best of it. Actually made pretty decent money for just working like 2 or 3 days a week. And I was able to kind of work on my own little things in between. It worked out. I ended up getting along with everybody. And then COVID hit, and then that was done for a little bit. And then he did ask me to come back, but by then I was moving to Killeen. So yeah, I mean, and I had like completely that right before I moved to Killeen and was selling my house. It was like I had all these challenges. Like I had my a cash card that I paid for, a G6. That was after the BMW repossession, and I love that car, man. And someone hit me, and I don't know if I have full coverage on the car or not. Either or, I ended up having to total the car, but I did get a check for the car, and I was able. It just all worked out. Like I wasn't, under a lot of anxiety over some things I felt like it should have been under anxiety for, and it wasn't. So I'm preaching to myself today that sometimes you just got to get out there and just push it and push it good. And I'm preaching to the choir, trying to make the best out of the situation. It looks one way, but then on another part, somehow it transforms into something else, more, something else, like more meaningful. The journey of it, like, okay, yeah, I had to do this or that, and I had to like go do. It's like, and then you look back on the journey, and you're like, that wasn't such a bad deal though either. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. So I'm gonna jump in there with that attitude today. I got my workout in. I did my qigong and tai chi. I did a little bit of that. I did my kung fu kicks. I did my weights. I did my jumping. I know Edward's always big on, you gotta do your weights. You gotta do your weights. Yes, I did my weights. Edward, if you're watching, I did my weights, okay? But either or, I feel good right now. Energy's good right now. It could change. Energy shifts all day. We have worries. We have things that are coming up. But at the end of the day, let's all put that behind us. And look at, you're very close to achieving your goal. So let's go to Gibeah's Moon real quick and read that. Man, I just got some energy back. I had to put this up. So Gibeah's Moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. It says the word gibeah means bulging. What a descriptive word, right? And pulling this card at any time of the month suggests that the situation you're asking about is bulging with possibility and coming to a peak. But this isn't an ending card yet with a neat yes or no answer. Rather, you're being reminded that some adjustments may yet be required before you get what you want, though you're certainly on the right track, which is hopefully reassuring for you. However, there's also a sense that the situation is a bit tense, so don't push too hard. One false move and the whole thing could blow. That's not meant to scare you. It's just to let you know there's a fuse attached to the situation, so be careful if you choose to light it. Attuned to the moon, it says, I know that I'm on the right track. And then it says, additional meanings for this card. Now is a good time to review your plans. That would be me. Keep the momentum going as you move towards your dreams. Stay focused. It's a good time to start a new project. You need to get back into good health habits. I did my workout this morning. And I'm not saying I don't do it. Like, okay, so I go through periods, ups and downs. It's like, it's like some mornings I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get up and do all this good stuff. And then usually 2 days a week, I'll go to Qigong, whatever. And then there's some mornings where I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm going to go straight get my tea. I'm going to go do this. Everything but that. But then again, I do always try to get a walk in, one way or the other, and I kind of have to, because I have the dog right now. So, so with that said, I do like this card. It says you're very close to achieving your goal. I know I'm close to achieving my goal. I just don't feel like it right now. I feel like my goal is like way out here somewhere. In the meanwhile, I have to toil in the desert. So I just try to think of 3 things every day that I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful today for my health. Man, I can go all the way down, bend my knees and like sit in a squat, man. And, that's like great. Cause I know like a year ago, I could not do that. Like my mind was telling me like, no, your knees hurt too bad, whatever. My knees are cured. Same thing with my feet. Like last year, my feet were a mess. Like I thought, okay, this is for sure. I'm going to be like crippled by the time I'm 60. No, I cured it with walks and flat foot shoes. So, there's always these opportunities that you don't think are there. You think I'm too old or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm just going to go make the best of it. So again, if you see me working at AM PM or 7-Eleven or something like that, whatever, graveyard shift, and here she comes in the shroud of, I'm gonna come with a smile and say, you know what, this is what just where I'm at right now. This is what I have to do right now, right? This is what, I'm not saying that that's what is planned to do tomorrow, whatever. I didn't apply yet. But you know what? If I had to, guess what? I will. You know, at the end of the day, I'm working on several things, but I know the things that are true to my heart that don't pay just yet. I make jewelry. I love making jewelry. I love doing my cards. I love the whole Kundalini gift shop business. And you know what? It didn't take off last year the way it should, but then it was brand new. Guess what? I'm not giving up on it. Even if I have to go find a part-time job, full-time job, doing something else and just work around it. Even if I have to go do pop-up over in Austin at the Casa de Luz, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because it's going to be okay. And I'm just sending out this message to you all. I'm going to get our numerology card. Ooh, look. Okay. I want to do 2. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's going to be okay. It feels like it's the end of the world. It feels like the bottom's coming out. It feels like, and sometimes we're worried about things that aren't even going to happen. We just have to kind of catch it before it kind of gets away. Like, I don't know, like I don't know, like just catch it before it slips away and kind of put it back, get it back under control. And if you do lose it and you miss it, that's okay too. Just don't give up, right? Okay, so we've got, I am observant, 0. Angels ask for your attention. Open your eyes, listen and think about everything that is happening. Trust your intuition and follow their guidance without delay. Focus inward through meditation and prayer. And I did do that this morning, meditation and prayer. I have called in, I've got kind of a new one that I kind of, when I was doing my oracle cards the other day and doing myself a reading, but I asked for the energies and the ascendant masters from the white highest divine light, right, to come in and fill my heart up with, joy and with hope, right? We have all these different ascended beings around us, and we don't even realize it. Some of them are our ancestors, some of them are angels, some of them are beings that just have ascended, and they're here and on assignment to help us. Sentient beings. Their energies are still here. They're not gone. I know we think, oh, they're in the grave, they're gone. That's just the body. That dream I had the other night, man, I was like, I am so gone out of this body. Goodbye, peace out. And it felt great. That happens. That's the way it happens sometimes. So it's never the end. It's the beginning of something else. Do we get incarnated? I do believe we get incarnated. We come back. But I think that the work that we do here while we're in these bodies now is also important so that when we do come back, it's like our challenges, we know how to get in there and tackle them. Now, I know I've had a lot of work to do in this lifetime, honey. Lots of it. Okay. Lots of it. But nonetheless, I'm working through those challenges. I'm working through those challenges. Okay, and then we got number 29. I'm insightful. It says you are highly intuitive and creative, and your mind thinks in pictures, and you seem to draw information and ideas from out of the sky. A powerful drive to know the oneness of all things. I am insightful. Sorry, excuse me. So at the end of the day, we're all insightful. We all want to know. We all want to connect. We all want to know the oneness. We're all one. We are one. We are one. What's that song by Maze? We're one. We are one. I'm going to play that song when I get off of here. I won't play it on this video. Otherwise, they'll probably take my video down for copyright. But that's all I want to do is kind of do a little morning pep up. They're not just for me. I'm doing this for me too. I am doing it for everybody. No, I am doing it for everybody, but I'm doing it for myself as well. Just to kind of share and kind of grow and work through some of my fears of, wondering what are other people going to think? What are people going to do here? How are people going to, and if we sit around and we do that all the time, and I'm guilty, we do that all the time, we get stuck. And I think that's why sometimes I wake up, I'm stuck. I don't know because I'm too worried about what this is going to turn out to be or what somebody thinks here and so on and so on. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I am. So with that said, have a great start of your day and morning. We're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. The collective is going to be okay. Namaste.